Welcome to American Family Insurance DreamBank, where we believe in the transformative power of dreams. I'm Maddie, and on behalf of DreamBank, we're thrilled to have you with us for today's event. For those of you who've attended our virtual or in-person events in the past, welcome back. And for anyone joining us for the first time, I'd like to take a moment to introduce you to DreamBank. Here at American Family Insurance, life is better when you're under our roof. Because when you feel totally supported and protected, any dream is possible. That's why we created DreamBank, an inspirational community destination and virtual experience designed to help people pursue and achieve and protect their dreams. At DreamBank, there's something for every dreamer, from weekly events to immersive signature programs, special events, and on-demand content. Our free programming and resources are designed to bring you inspiration, motivations, and support no matter what your interests. Check out our upcoming virtual and in-person events at amfam.com/dreambank and reserve your spot today. Now I'm excited to introduce you to today's speaker. Tami Reiss is an energetic keynote speaker and workshop facilitator who empowers leaders to communicate with clarity, influence, and confidence and align their teams around bold strategies and visions. Bold strategic visions. As a CEO, as CEO of Leader Within, she brings over decades of experience coaching senior leaders and executives across industries, guiding them to master executive presence and lead authentically. I am going to pass it over to you, Tammy.
Hi, thank you so much for such a warm welcome, especially from such a cold place. I am Tammy from Miami, as the screen says, so I'm in a definitely warmer climate, and I'm really excited to share with you this knowledge that I have in my brain about how do you craft a compelling pitch so that you can convince anyone to do anything. And so I want to start by asking a question. So get your chat fingers ready and put in a number one or me or I if, or you can clap, if you like being right. I don't see. Ah, there we go. Yes, I love. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I do. Haha. Yes, who doesn't like being right? And how do you feel when you knew something to be true and someone else didn't listen to you? It sucks. We get annoyed and we're like, I was right. And it's so frustrating to know we had the answer. We had the answer and they didn't listen. We do get one silver lining to this. We get to say four magical words that feel fantastic. And those words are, I told you so. If I was right and you were wrong, I can say, I told you so. I told you to my adult children, you should not have taken that job. It was a bad idea. I told you so. We needed to take the express lane or the side streets. I told you so. This pitch we were going to give to this prospective client wasn't going to land because they cared about something else. Or I told you so, we needed to add this in. And that I told you so feels good for around a minute. And then we recognize something, which is instead of blaming the other person for not listening, it's our responsibility to have pitched it in a way that was compelling to them. It's our responsibility to have said it in a way that they heard us, in a way that it caused a reaction, in a way that it motivated them, in a way that it activated them. So that blame that we are placing on them, I told you so, you didn't listen, quickly turns to shame. And we recognize that maybe it's on us. Maybe we could have done better. Maybe we could have crafted a more compelling pitch. Maybe we could have said something or gotten someone else to say something in a way that tuned them into the fact that we were right all along. And then they didn't have to make that mistake. Because the biggest truth bomb I can give you today is that it's not enough to be right. It is not enough to know the answer. It is not enough to be telling someone what the right answer is. We have to convince people. We have to pitch people. All day long, we are actually pitching people. And so I want to see in the chat, do you consider yourself a salesperson? Yes or no? I'm going to pause for a second. Absolutely not. No, sometimes. No, 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 no. Lots of no's. Sometimes. No, ma'am. Yes. Great. Daniel Pink, To Sell is Human. One of my favorite books. Thank you so much, Meg. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Every single one of you is actually a salesperson because all day long we are selling our ideas. We think about sales as selling a product. Do you want this headphones or something else? Sales and marketing. That we are promoting a used car or something else. And it sounds dirty, but sales is not a dirty word, and neither is pitching. And we used crafting a compelling pitch in the title here because if we said sales for non-salespeople, none of you would have been interested. But in reality, we are all selling ideas. The ideas that we have in our head that we know to be true, that we know to be right, that this product can help somebody, that this idea, that this route, whatever it is going to be better than whatever the alternative is. And we need to sell. And yes, I hate selling too. I don't know what SWA stands for, but I hate selling too. And if we think about it as selling and we have a negative connotation for that internally, it might make us more timid and less confident. And that's not good. And so I want you to recognize that everyone is selling all day long. Your dentist is selling you that you need that cavity filled. Your doctor is selling you that you should take your meds. Everyone is selling because the truth is not enough. We have to influence other people to believe that truth too. And not only to believe, but to take action. To take action because we have convinced them that what's in our head is worth listening to and worth doing something. Because it turns out everyone is selling something, some are just more successful. And when we think about my dentist is more a seller than a dentist, great. I'm glad Sharon agrees. I'm afraid of what he's selling you or she's selling you, but it happens. And some are more successful than others. Some dentists run more successful practices because they have more upsells that they're able to tell people about and people are excited about. It's not about the item. I spent my career in product management. And product management means that I developed things, generally software, to give people, to sell to people. And other people were responsible for the sale. And I used to say, I don't do sales, I just build products. If you have a problem, I can solve it with my product, but I'm not going to sell you on it. You're either going to want it or not. But in reality, someone has to position that product in a way that someone recognizes it's going to solve their problem. And that was the sales team. And they were very good at it in most companies I worked for. But I recognized that what I had to do often was sell an idea to developers or to a designer or to the compliance team or to the lawyers or to the finance team or anyone else, the CEO, the board that was deciding on what got funded or not. All of those things are still pitches. It's still selling. And so when you recognize that everyone's selling and therefore you should be selling too, and you should be pitching too, and it's not dirty, but you're helping people. Because when you have to pitch somebody to take the express lane, or that someone should go take a job or not take a job because the boss seems really mean, you're trying to make their life better. You're trying to solve their problems. And you know something they don't. Your gut says something they don't. You have data that they don't. And you need them to believe you. You need them to follow you. And so when you're pitching them, don't think about it as selling them snake oil. Think about it as giving them an opportunity to choose something that's better for them. And so that's the mindset. And this mindset applies for all the things we do, which is why I say life's a pitch. All day long, we are pitching. And the more successful you want to be, the more you will recognize you have to pitch other people to join you because we can't do it alone. And so if you are a founder of a small company, you need to pitch employees to join you. You need to pitch possibly the bank to give you money. You need to pitch a co-founder. You need to pitch a customer. You might need to pitch a customer to give you a referral, that thumbs up. How important are referrals? You might need to pitch somebody to give you an introduction to someone. Or you might need to change something internally. You may just be leading a team right now. You may not be on your entrepreneurial journey yet. You may not be reaching for that dream. But if you're leading a team, we very often make changes. The Monday meeting is going to be on Tuesday. We're going to not give bonuses this year, or we're going to change our bonus structure, or whatever it is. We're going to have jeans Fridays. We're going to all go out to lunch once a month. Whatever that change is, you have to sell it. Jeans Friday seems easy, but you never know. You have to sell the change. You have to pitch that change to your employees. And the more we can think about it as I need to pitch this person so that they buy in, so that they're motivated, so that they're excited, the more excited they'll be, the more activated they'll be, the more connected they'll be, the more bought in they will be. So now that I've hopefully gotten you in a better mindset about pitching so that you recognize you're providing an opportunity for someone. Ooh, that was not what I wanted to do. Apologies. I pressed the wrong button. And we'll be back in just a second. Ooh, dun 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 dun. And cool. All right. Recognize that success for you and anyone else is a matter of getting to where we want to go together. We love high-fiving someone when we've been successful. We love knowing it was a team effort. And so pitching other people to take part in making your dream a reality is what will make it happen, and they will be happy too. And that is key to pitching. How can I make someone else happy about making my dream a reality? How can I make someone else excited to take my idea and turn it into something that is real? And so that is where we created Map Out Your Influence. Map it out. It is a simple, easy to follow way that you can pitch anybody anything. Anything. So we're going to start with M. M is for manifest. You're going to manifest where you want to go. And what that means is you're going to come up with a vision, a picture in your mind of what the world looks like when your dream becomes a reality. And not just the world and your product being sold or your service being sold, but also who is positively impacted by that? What are the domino effects all the way down when what you want to be true becomes true? And the better picture you can draw, the better vision you create, the easier the next two steps will be. So invest the time in really drawing this out. Next step, A, assess. You're now going to invest time in other people and you're going to assess where they want to go. What is their vision of the future? What is their vision of success? What will bring them pride? What will bring them joy? And get to know that because you're going to have to tap into that to get them to come along with you. And once you have an idea of where you want to go and where they want to go, we bring in step P, our third step, which is promote. Promote where we can go together because success is a joint effort. And so what we do is we look at what they want and we look at what we want and we find the overlap. We look for that Venn diagram shaded area in the middle. And we recognize that if we can talk to them about this part where they are getting closer to where they want to go and we are getting closer to where we want to go, people will benefit. people will win. People will feel great when we get there. I'm just seeing, oh, there's Q&A coming. Great. I love Q&A. Feel free to continue putting things into the Q&A. And so these are the 3 steps: map, manifest, assess, and promote. And they're all about going somewhere because that's really what we're doing. We're encouraging people to come along with us on this journey. And the more people that we have standing behind us and helping our dreams become a reality, the more probable success will be. Because if they believe they will be successful in our new world, and we believe success is there, and we're working together to build something good in the world, we often become unstoppable. But we have to be ready to pitch people. And so that's MAP. And I want you to remember manifest, assess, and promote. I have a canvas for you, which allows for you to, if you scan this QR code, so I'm going to leave it on for a second or two as I talk through it. If you scan this QR code, you will get not only this canvas, the Mastering Influence Map, but also instructions about what it means to manifest, what it means to assess, what it means to promote, totally free as this webinar itself is. But when you look at the map, what you'll see is that you get one manifest. You get one cell to fill out, which is where you want to go. This picture. You need to have clarity, crystal clear clarity on that destination that you want to be a reality. But we recognize that every person we talk to has a different vision for themselves. And that's why there are individual rows for each of those people or groups of people if there's some sort of homogenous group going on. And when we recognize that each individual person has different things that drive them, have different incentive structures, have different things that make them excited and get them out of bed in the morning, we then can recognize we also need to promote differently to different people. And that's why promote is going to be different for each individual, because no one likes a generic pitch. If you watch a Super Bowl commercial, rarely will that cause you to take action because it's designed for the masses. But when you see an Instagram ad that's tailored to exactly who you are and what you care about, you are much more probable to click and buy. And so when we think about these people out here as people who have drive, who have success, who have emotions, and we want to tap into that, we recognize that they are individuals. And in the product world, we often say a product for everyone is a product for no one. And so in the pitching world, we say a pitch for everyone is a pitch for no one. So if you've been investing time in the PowerPoint deck to rule all PowerPoint decks, and that you have one magical presentation that's going to convince everyone how amazing your idea is and to give you money and time, you're wrong. It doesn't exist. But what does exist is the ability for you to personalize that so that when you talk to each individual, you promote them and you meet them where they are and you show them that you cared enough to learn about them and what's exciting to them, and they'll listen and they'll hear you and they'll be more motivated to act, and they will often act. And you will never have to say, "I told you so" again. Because "I told you so" is not a phrase that is productive. "I told you so" is not a phrase that gets us to our successful end destination. "I told you so" is steps backwards. And so, in order for us not to say this anymore, we need to be talking about other things. And that is the map. And if you use the MAP framework, you will become a master of influence. You will become a master at pitching, and you will start maximizing your impact because you're smart. We went through this. You're right about so many things, but you need to help other people see that. And if more people can see the truth that you know, they can follow along and they can take action in light of that. And things will get better and you will have higher impact and you will grow more. And what's amazing about these skills, what's amazing about Map It Out is that, yes, I've been talking a lot about selling products and businesses and selling ideas on your team. It turns out this is equally effective at pitching your boss that you deserve a raise or that a bank that you deserve a loan as it is at pitching your mother-in-law that Christmas should be at your house or your partner that you should go to Greece for your anniversary or your child to go to bed at night. It's all about having a clear vision for what you want, understanding what they want, and talking to them about where you can go together, finding that common ground. Because when you do that, the sky's the limit. And so, my only question for you now is where do you want to go? And how can influence get you there? This is my information. Thank you so much. We're now going to do some Q&A in the chat. Sometimes a clear vision is the hardest part. Agreed, Cindy. If you send me an email, Tami at Tami Reiss, there's also a vision worksheet that I believe is possibly even linked in the map worksheet, but I will totally send it to you because I agreed it is hard. Someone is raising their hand, but there were questions that were sent in advance. Okay, those are just thank yous. Can you give me an example of a dialogue to implement this strategy in an interview? Are you a candidate in an interview, Cindy, or are you the hiring manager? Candidate. Okay. So when I coach job seekers, I tell them to ask questions at the end of their stories. So you can tell a story of, they're going to ask you something about your experience, right? And then you're going to tell them about your experience. And if at the end of that story you say, how would that work here? Or how would you adjust what I talked about so that it would be more successful here? Or what do you do similar to what I just discussed? Or how would that impact the important metrics for you? Or questions like that. And then you fit into, I need to hire somebody and they're supposed to do a job, and that job is supposed to have impact, and you then get associated with that impact. Is that helpful, Cindy? Sweet. All right. Anonymous attendee. Arts Council, we struggle big time with getting volunteers to help with our activities. Absolutely. They're giving of their time. We keep hearing that they love what we're doing, but no one steps up. Most days, I'd be delighted to have someone just send a few emails a month or help or set it. We had people who sent it 90. Okay. So in this case, I give courses on influence that are generally longer than a half an hour. And so in some of my workshops, we talk about the importance of questions, like I just talked to Cindy about, but we also talk about the value of having someone else make the ask. And that is why some of the most successful nonprofits are actually finding volunteers that they've tapped into that are fully inspired by their mission and vision. And they're saying, run a team. It's what crowdfunding is all about. It's a way of recognizing that if a fundraiser asks 100 people, they will only get so many of them to give. But if they have 10 people and each of those 10 people are asking 10 of their friends, it's a higher probability. And so the same thing goes with volunteering. How can you create a chair position for a volunteer who's tightly engaged and really excited, and that they understand that what they want out of their life, whatever their vision is, happens through volunteering, then they can start pitching other people as well. So I hope that that was helpful, anonymous attendee. Can I provide an example of using the MAP framework in the workplace? Absolutely. Where do you work, Lee? Lee. Um, American Family Insurance. Okay, great. So I'm going to answer Terry's question first, which is everybody has different needs in a meeting. How do you pitch them, right? That's why I was developing that perfect, amazing PowerPoint deck to rule all PowerPoint decks. It's called the meeting before the meeting. meet with each of those individuals or a majority of those individuals and make sure you understand what they're about and that they understand the value of whatever it is you're presenting. And so if you have 12 people and you've talked to 8 of them in advance, by the time you come to that meeting, you know what you need to say to preempt an objection and to get more buy-in because you're going to tap on the things that the different people find valuable. The salesperson, the compliance person. This is also the how you would do it at the workplace. Let's say you were pitching a new initiative. So I talk very often about Adobe, which used to be this licensing company, and now they do the Creative Cloud. If any of you have ever bought an Adobe product, like I'm totally blanking right now, but now they do everything in the Creative Cloud. Photoshop, things like Illustrator. You used to buy a CD and it was lots of fun, but now you buy everything and it's a SaaS product. There's a woman named Leah who was in charge of that transformation, and she understood the value of meeting one-on-one before presenting big ideas. So that when she talked about them, she talked about it in a way that the sales team got excited. She triggered what they were excited about and what compliance was excited about, what development was excited about. And also, she shared a vision for what could be and how everyone would want to be part of making that a reality for their customers, for their employees, for their clients. And when you do that, you can make massive change and in reality save a company. So I hope that was helpful on answering both sort of at once. But if you think about the most common thing you're going to try and pitch at work is probably that you deserve more responsibility or more money or a promotion or something like that. And so don't think about it only as I want this promotion. Think about it as my boss has certain objectives and goals they need to accomplish. And how can I take on responsibilities from them so that they can focus on the things that they need to work on? And if you pitch it like that to your boss, that I'd like to take on more responsibilities from you so that you can have more time for strategic thinking or more executive this, or you're going to be visiting this other office, etc., then they're like, oh, you're going to take that off my plate? I might actually get to go home for dinner once this week. That's fantastic. And so that's how you recognize that they need something as well. And you need to prove that you're ready for something more. So it's a win-win. We actually still have like a minute and a half left because I talk really fast. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about the other options for how to engage with me. You should know that on Instagram, LinkedIn, Substack, YouTube, I provide tons and tons of free advice. There are lots of great examples there. So I really do believe in democratizing what is in my brain. So please visit any of those things, TamiReiss.com. There is an executive presence course that I think we're going to give people a nice discount for. And then there's also a confident communicator GPT, which is something that helps everyone for free um, communicate with more confidence and get more people on their side and to follow them.
Thank you so much. You fit so much in 30 minutes. I was definitely trying to take notes, but thank you so much. I am going to be thinking differently about how I approach meetings. I guess I do pitch
We
more than
all
I
pitch.
thought. So thank you so much. And until next time, friends, bye.
Thank you so much for joining today.